What's up, Dice Crew? Keeping it a Benji, and I'm getting back with y'all. Now, look, we just dropped a video pertaining to Bobby A speaking or expressing how him and a few individuals, or maybe, who knows how many people, but other individuals from his background, his community, having a problem with some words that Spider Locat put out there. So what we got going on now with Spider Loke reacting to that or responding to that. So we got to tune in and see what Spider Loke say, just to keep it fair. Shout out to the Dice Crew. You know, we like to give people their flowers in their showers. So if we agree with something you be doing, we going to give you your flowers. If we disagree, we definitely going to rain on your parade. So we going to tune in and see what Spider Loke got to say. I'm going to keep it a Benji for y'all doing my reaction. Y'all keep it a Benji for me in the comments. Shout out to the Dice Crew and shout out to the sponsors, Yard Down Bullies. I'm going to have a link in the description so y'all can tune in with them and see what they got going on. Let's rock.
This cycle of internet circus or what have you never ceases to amaze me, man. It seems like sometimes no matter how far I go out of my way to be appropriate, respectful, and cordial to certain individuals, they find a way to do something to disrupt the flow of communion that we establish, regardless of my intentions or how careful I am with the actions I take in regard to any said individual. Bobby Ye, PJ Watts, what up, my nigga? It's the deal, man. I'm extremely disappointed in you, man. I don't know why I expected so much more. But to give those listening an idea as to what took place, I recently went to the PJs. As I'm just as a public figure recently, the homies over there brought out the blue carpet, showed me love. We did a vlog. I spent the better part of an hour over there. I was in the projects. Now, throughout the process, I got into a little physical misunderstanding with one of my homeboys. Very shortly thereafter, I interviewed one of my main hosts there, Big Soldier, from the projects, on Facts Over Feelings, my podcast on Street TV. Go check it out, Facts Over Feelings. So he was my guest. And as I was speaking with him, we were talking about facts over feelings, including Bobby Ye's feelings. Facts. We were discussing facts. This is the whole theme of the whole podcast. And as we were discussing the facts, we discussed briefly the incident that took place with me in that lot that the world saw between my homeboy and myself. And I chose to share the fact that some of my other loved ones,
Spider keep inserting, and he making it a big situation to make sure everybody understand the concept of facts over feelings, and I get it. However, just because something is a fact, or if it's true, that don't mean it's the time for that to get put out there. It's a time and a place for everything. So it's cool that you got the facts and you're not pushing false narratives, but you got to know, just because it's a fact, that don't mean that it deserve, or do people want to get that, like whether they want to hear about that or witness that visually, or however we gonna word it. But just because something is a fact, that don't mean it got to get put out there, and it don't mean it's at the right time if it do get put out there.
who also viewed the same footage, when they saw it, their mind reflected upon another loved one of ours that lost their life in that same lot. And as I was interviewing Soldier, I shared that it was an incident. It was an incident in my life that gave me chills. I was not aware at the time, at the moment, that I was in that particular lot. And I shared that on the podcast. And give it another thought. Soldier responded. We both showed love to the deceased, and it was the end of it. That took place over a week ago. However, this morning.
And I will say this, right? In Spider Loke defense, it's like this. I don't know if the whole interview was dropped, but I think they just put out a clip. So with the clip, it only ended, it just ended like fast. So we really don't have a full, context about that. So, unless I missed it, but I didn't see nothing more than the clip. Maybe if they got the whole interview out there, then hey, I just missed it. But I think it's easy to, misunderstand something when we just see the clip and we don't really get the full background and the whole context and see what was all said after, because the little clip just ends.
Or this afternoon, I received a text from Bobby A about this long. Y'all know how many words Cuz be using. And he did not spare his usage of words in this text message. It's a whole lot of words basically telling me he had a discrepancy with the fact that
that's just kind of funny to me if coming from Spider Loke, like kind of making a joke about somebody with the words, because Spider Loke is definitely one of the most, he's like intelligent with the words and stuff like that. He got a good vocabulary, So, I'm just giving him his flowers about that. So it's kind of funny to me that, I wonder what Bobby A was actually texting, because if Spider Loke was, finding funny, he must have had a cold vocab.
spoke on the passing of my loved one and the location that I was in when I had this incident, and that it was the same location. He expressed that it could stir up things that might not. Mind you, my loved one lost his life in that location 20 years ago or better. And I looked at it, thought about it, did not feel or think as if I actually owed Bobby a response. But I chose, in my more mature mind frame, to give him a response. And my response was, Dennis is my blood cousin.
Now, two things about this, right? Sometimes we really don't know how to like bring ourselves down to, to be more humble to where we could interact with everybody. But I feel like Spider Loke made the right choice on giving Bobby a response, because it's really just the communication factor. You know what I'm saying? The fact that they opened up the door and the passage for both of them to be able to communicate and come to an understanding. That's what's more important. Like sometimes people feel like they don't have to react or respond to everything, but opening up that line of communication can do more. It can seize problems, prevent problems. You just could get more of an understanding as opposed to just letting things linger or letting people wonder, And then for number two, Spider Loke saying that that's his blood relative, that, that's his real cousin, that, he is directly tied into that situation in the aspect of a personal situation. But gang wise, no, because he's not from the hood that's responsible for that, and he's not responsible from the hood that lost that. But he is directly tied into that situation due to his personal relationship, blood, family, and whatnot.
Which I don't think I owed the explanation to anyone. But that's what I chose to share with him. And he responded somewhat favorably, as if it was more understanding from his perspective now. And he also offered me a phone number that I can reach out and contact someone else who is from his section who apparently has similar concerns.
And mind you, let me say this. I don't think Spider Loke meant for it to be a problem with the comments that he made. I don't think that was his intentions. But however, sometimes the intent ain't always how people comprehend it, you know what I mean? Or just because we mean well or we might mean respect with it, that don't mean that people won't take it a whole nother way.
I did not opt to do so. Not that I am above speaking to that individual, but I don't believe I owe anyone a conversation on this matter whatsoever. So it kind of reminded me of, in the mind frame of, maybe they shouldn't have added that Jesus was crucified in the Bible, or that it happened on Calvary, or that the Romans alongside the Jews were responsible for it. Maybe they should have left all that out the Bible. I want to make something clear. I'm not here to tell the PJ Wash story, the Front Street Wash story, the East Coast Crib story, the Gray Street story, Compton Avenue story, the Bounty Hunter story. I'm not here to tell the story of the Haitians. I'm here to tell the entire East Side story. And these are events, incidents that have taken place that affected my life and the lives of all those that we know, all our loved ones, and with no disrespect, certain things will be mentioned.
Now, I feel like on one hand, it's a nice thing. It's great. Like if you want to represent and be a voice of a whole side of town. However, it's also going to be a whole nother bracket of people that feel like who appointed you to that position. Because that's the thing. Like, when you start spreading your wings and you covering all these different hoods, because the history goes through their hoods as well as a part of being on the east side, you opening up the door for people to feel any kind of way they have to feel or want to feel or whatever it may be. And also, it's not going to be your position to be able to do that when you not directly from these gangs. That's just a big twist. Like, it's no such thing. It's like just the east side. Now, originally, yeah, east side Crips, west side Compton, how it go. But when you just start saying it's just anything, like, you can't just say I'm gonna be the voice and tell every story in Compton because you not from every set in Compton. So some people might agree with what you say or what you do and get that you're not trying to be disrespectful, but other people gonna look at it and be like, man, who appointed him? And you not from here. So it's like when you say certain stuff pertaining to two other groups, you never know how any of those individuals may feel. But you not being from one of those gangs directly, they might not even have an issue with you, but they will have you be them participated in stirring the pot up subconsciously, not on purpose, but just doing it just by doing what you do. And then, you don't have to be there to answer for it. That's kind of like what the point is. And I'm not saying this like just because for Spider Loc in general, but just overall, like just if it was anybody, you know what I mean? Like nobody's going to always agree with one person saying that they can tell any story that, that's tied to them as well. Because people just ain't going to share the same feelings.
Along the way. I was extremely shocked that Bobby Ye had chose. So I responded, and I thought that was it. He gave me a favorable response, and that was the end of it. Bam. I wasn't going to reach out to his partner under these circumstances because that's just not what I chose to do. But I was perhaps going to reach out to him a little bit down the line and then let him know why I delayed on reaching out. Because it was all respect, no disrespect coming from my way. And I don't want anyone to perceive anything that I choose to do in regards to this matter as disrespect. So I'm very careful about how I maneuver. But then some time passed and I'm getting a sequence of texts and there's a video titled Bobby A responds to Spider Loc's interview, the same interview that I'm referring to. The title was something of that nature. And I could only assume, based on the text message that he sent me, that the video, to some degree, reflects his thoughts that he shared in the text message. And I'm going to admit right now that that is an assumption. But it blew my mind that this dude chose to make a video about this shit instead of doing what he did and leaving it at that. And it's so shocking because just a week ago, or maybe less than a week ago, one of my homies, my real rada stumped down partners from East Coast Crip, no play type nigga, found a discrepancy. The discrepancy was something Bobby Ye said on one of his videos. I didn't even take issue with myself to really educate myself on what the issue was. My homie had an issue with it. He was to some degree upset and he wanted that energy relayed to Bobby Ye. I didn't go on the internet and make a video. I made it my business to say, hey, Bobby Ye, my homie Wooty Woot want to holler at you. I got his a clearance that he was ready to holler. I told the homie, look, I got old boy, he willing to holler. Bam. I put them on the phone on a 3-way, and they talk like real keyways, my nigga. They squashed their shit like men. It was very respectful. It never made it to the internet, although it was generated with things that were initially said upon the internet. And this is the rapport I have established with Bobby A. That's why I did it that way. I know how to get on this internet and pop my shit and troll and address shit, Bobby. I don't know why you would take that route when we have this mature, respectful chain of communication established.
Well, I'm gonna say this. Shout out to Spider Loc for keeping it, behind the scenes and just getting on top of it and being able to be a middleman and working that situation out. And do I feel like Bobby A is trying to make sure he get enough clout in the game right now? Absolutely. And I say that on some factual type, like not trying to disrespect him or call him like, nothing else. I'm just saying that at the end of the day, at some point or at another, we all in this content creating space to get a viral moment, whether some people take it this route to do it or some people chase it or whatever, we all looking for clout, and that's just cool. When you know what to do with clout is very valuable, you know what I mean? It's just only a bad thing when people see clout but they don't even know what to do with it, you know what I mean? So shout out to Spider for making that happen and keeping it behind the wraps. But y'all let me know, Dice Crew, do y'all feel like Bobby A should have did the same thing, like just kept it between the text messages and the behind the scenes, or do y'all feel like he should have brought that to the public eye? You know what I mean? Because, it all depends. Everybody feel different about situations, you know what I mean? I think he was looking for some clout. Plus, I also feel like he probably wanted it to be a public statement out there to show that, where him and his homies stand, so things don't transpire the wrong way. It's just so many different ways to look at it.
This is good. Don't let this internet. I hear you speak about the internet affecting real solid fellas in certain ways. Bruh, please. Sometimes you might want to sit back and reflect. It was so unnecessary for you to take this matter to the internet, bro. Not only Baby Draylon, shout out to my auntie Lizzo, but my homie Baby Slim lost their life in those very projects. That's my blood and soil that was lost there that makes those grounds sacred to me. You think I'm going to request anyone's permission to express any type of sentiment I have about that? That would make me less of a man than I am. There is no disrespect. I never said or indicated or insinuated that any one individual from any section was responsible for anyone losing their life. I merely stated that I was standing in the exact location. And either you took offense to it or you saw opportunity to try to wiggle yourself into some viral exchange. It's either or. And if you were...
And I can definitely see somebody being, kind of like having a certain type of feeling behind that. Like, you probably not thinking about it at a moment, and then when certain things occur, then somebody bring it to your attention. I can see somebody like, I definitely understand what Spider Loc is saying. Like I said, I don't think he was just with the intent to try to really stir up the pot or hurt somebody's feelings intentionally. You know what I mean? I think he just was doing what he do and being Spider Loc and being how he is. And, however, everybody don't take things the same way. And I feel like some of the people from PJ chose to feel a way about it. You know what I mean? And who knows? It's probably, it's still just early. It'll be a lot of people who probably end up speaking about these situations, whether they agreeing with Spider or disagreeing.
Offended, you may need to reassess the things that offend you. Or if you weren't offended and you just wanted to wiggle into some viral energy, you may need to reassess your approach to your desires of becoming more popular online, because this ain't the way you do it. Another thing that I will clarify, just since we're on the subject, when you initially spoke in regards to me coming to the Imperial Court projects after 600 made the buffoonery statements or whack or whomever, you kind of put the impression out that I went there upon your say-so or upon your invite. And I want to make clear, because we did recently establish a line of communication very recently, and we are peers with this internet thing. I did reach out to you and call you. However, my call did not stop there. I have multiple relationships that extend far beyond ours that are very solid over there in that section. Whether you knew then, I'm sure you are aware of now. So all those people were called as well. I called you out of respect and out of familiarity with with all this internet shit. It's kind of like me and you. You know what I'm saying? So I called you, but I did not only call you. But yeah, man, I didn't want to drag this out or nothing like that. You feel me? I just think that Bobby A, you have positioned yourself upon the internet with someone who provides a lot of direction, correction. And I think with that being said, I'm sure with as intelligent as you come across, you can be man enough to receive some as well. But I'm going to get up out of here, man. Be about your marathon at all costs.